Mr. Chairman, 2 years after the hurricane passed, the airport's still there on its way going. While it may be limping, but it's still going. I don't think we need to come in here, Mr. Chairman, and try to scare Parliament. I don't think the minister need to come in here and say what the bondholders say, that Parliament has to take a decision. There was a decision made in the budget of 2018. 2019. That decision was in the budget. It was there, it was passed by the same minister government. Today we are in 2019 of November and still waiting on Parliament approval. Mr. Chairman, the first time the Prime Minister, the former Prime Minister, outgoing Prime Minister, who's not there no longer, came in here and stated that Parliament is the one who holding up. Parliament ain't holding up anything. They got the mandate from Parliament already at that time. They said they was ready. A motion should have stopped other things, not the issue of the airport, because then it shows that government was not ready with the financing of the airport at the time. Because still to this day, when did the governor sign off to give permission for them to go and sign? Not too long ago. Not too long ago. So the Council of Ministers comes to the House of Parliament and gives a whole fluff of story and lies over and over. And my colleague now who sits on the other side seemingly continued on the trend. Seemingly continue on the trend.
Mr. Chairman, a few months ago in Parliament, we were basically threatened that if we don't approve the budget for the airport, we won't get their money that they needed that month specifically, and the operations would come to a halt. The budget was approved, and months later, the money for the airport still hasn't been transferred. A few months later, we have the internal issues and infighting with this Council of Ministers, where one other minister so-called had provisions for alternative financing, which again wasn't true, and again delayed the process. Mr. Chairman, in my opinion, the Minister of Finance, and to that effect the rest of the Council of Ministers, continues to play politics with this matter, knowing already that they already have their legal advice in hand, knowing already that the governor already signed off on the ordinance, and they are in their power now to sign off the LBA. The minister is also privy to information that members of Parliament aren't, and similarly will not get, pertaining to the arrangement between the financing and the airport. So my only advice, in short, Mr. Chairman, is to the Council of Ministers actually is to go ahead and finish what you started and stop playing politics with the workers of the airport. That'll be all, Mr. Chairman.
You're basically asking us to agree to something that we are not privy to the information and the details about. Now, this reminds me of right after the hurricane, when there was the conditions and they were not yet made known, and MP George Pontiflet at the time stated that you're asking me to basically sign a blank check. You're asking for permission, but yet holding back information so that we as members of Parliament can make an informed decision. So I have a concern with that. And I would like to know what are the legal agreements that where it relates to the airport reconstruction that you are looking for permission to sign. So what is the in-house, so what is the content? Can you provide this information to Parliament? I would also like to know which conditions for the World Bank loan has been approved and implemented thus far, if any. Through you, Mr. Chairman, how much is currently outstanding to the current bondholders, to the Minister? And how much secured funds do the bondholders have as collateral? I would also like to know, through you, Mr. Chairman, how much of the departure tax or any other revenue go to the bondholder? Because according to me, it was announced, and this is another question, according to me, it was announced recently in the news that the airport has reached 73% of its 2016 business performance. So then I'm allowed to assume that the airport is back to what it earned in 2016. I would like some clarity on that based on the report that was published. My next question, Mr. Chairman, through you is, what concerns have the bondholders expressed to you? I heard you allude a bit to it in the earlier response in terms of the fact that a change in government has the political situation. I would like to know, was this in an email, was it verbally, was it a telephone call? And if Parliament can be officially made aware of what was said to you as Minister of Finance or as the Prime Minister where it relates to the agreement and not having a proper mandate. So how was this communicated, and can we be provided with a copy of such?
A beautiful thing happens when you get a group of motivated people together. You get the job done. It doesn't matter what their background is. All that matters is their common goal, their spirit, their dedication. It makes all the difference, doesn't it? And we want you to know that being there for you when you need us is our goal. We're here to work with you in every way. Because no matter what we do or where we are, we understand. The difference is you. We're here to help.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Our friend Megawati is here with tips to save you energy. 1. Turn your airco temperature up. 2. Use a ceiling fan instead. 3. Buy energy-saving products. Save some green with NVGEBE.
The minister made a statement a while ago concerning a private company and a government-owned company. So I would like to know from the Minister of Finance, Harbour, Telem, GEBE, Airport, what type of companies are they? Are they private companies or government-owned companies? Why am I asking that question, Mr. Chairman? Because I asked the question. Mr. Peterson, Duncher, we have a right, or in terms of what the minister said, to know what their salaries are. So he could have said on Parliament, 8,000, 7,000, 6,000, we have a right to know. But the individual that the CEO brought from Telem, we don't have a right to know because that's confidential and he's working for a private company. Then who is that private company working for? Who does that private company belongs to? Mr. Chairman. You see, as much as the honorable ministers would like to think that they are smart, well, we smart too. You don't come to Parliament and want to give answers as such. But Mr. Chairman, we know what the answers are, but the general public don't know. And you see, these are the things we do to our own people. I am not Franz Richardson, because he understands the good CEO. I don't. Because nothing this CEO has done is in favor of St. Martiners. Nothing done on the airport. Absolutely nothing. And I'm going to maintain my stance. He has to go, as much as he's a St. Martiner. But here comes the minister. And what does the minister say? Oh, yes, it's confidential because it's a private company. It's a private company. The airport is a private company? How the airport became a private company, Mr. Chairman? How it became a private company? And even if that is the case, that this gentleman came over and he may be working for a Asian Bedo or a temp company or some other company, that company is working for the airport, or that company is hired on behalf of the airport, whether it's consulting, whether it's advising, that company, Mr. Chairman, they are employed. They are in service of the airport, which is a government-owned company. So again, I ask the question, how much is this gentleman making? Or the company? It can't simply be that, oh, it's a private company. These are the kind of things that we need to stop. It needs to stop. Mr. Chairman, we continue with lies, misinformation, and simply just saying what you want to say. No, I don't have much to ask this outgoing government at all. Because in a couple of weeks, there should be a new set of ministers in, and we'll get all the information. You're coming to Parliament, and you're asking us, because the bondholders said that they want to hear from Parliament. The bondholders are right. Because a house divided cannot rule, and they have failed the people of St. Martin. And it's quite evident with the last press briefing what they had there with Stuart Johnson and the Honourable Minister of Finance, both of them at each other. It's quite evident that they can't rule.
Mr. Chair, after receiving the answers to my questions from the Minister of Finance and after reading the article from the CEO of PGIA, Mr. Mingo, it seems like your time is limited because the new government is already talking about firing you. I tell you already, you got a wrong color, you know. You ain't no local, real local. In which he states, if the present World Bank and EIB funding is not completed soon and the funding is not available by December 1st, 2019, the business will not be able to comply with its liabilities. I am more than ever convinced that our airport is now facing a man-made crisis caused by the fall of government. Mr. Chair, as members of Parliament, it is time we put country above self and protect the livelihood of the direct and indirect workers of PGIA, which amount to over 1,400 persons. Mr. Chair, with that in mind, I hereby present the following motion. It reads as follows. Parliament of St. Martin, draft motion. The Parliament of St. Martin, in its meeting of today, November 4, 2019, considering that the terminal building of Princess Juliana International Airport should be repaired as soon as possible, that the airport faces a detrimental phase in which if funding is not available by December 1st, 2019, Princess Juliana Airport will not be able to comply with its liabilities, that the government of the Netherlands has made funds available to the reconstruction of St. Martin, including the reconstruction of the terminal building of Princess Juliana International Airport, that the Juliana International Airport and the government of St. Martin, through the National Program Bureau, have prepared the airport terminal reconstruction project, that the cost of the terminal reconstruction project can be covered by a grant from the World Bank Trust Fund to the government of St. Martin for a total of $72 million US, that another part of the cost of the airport terminal reconstruction project can be covered by a loan from the European Investment Bank to the government of St. Martin for a total amount of $50 million US, that the government of St. Martin, with the approval of Parliament, will on-lend funds to Princess Juliana International Airport for the airport terminal reconstruction project, that the government of St. Martin and Princess Juliana International Airport have reached an agreement with the note holders of the 2012 indenture dated as December 28, 2012 on the financing of the airport terminal reconstruction project and the use of the remaining insurance proceeds, that the governor of St. Martin has signed national decrees authorizing caretaker ministers to sign the relevant legal agreements on the airport terminal reconstruction project with the World Bank, the European Investment Bank, Princess Juliana International Airport, the note holders of the 2012 indenture, and other relevant parties thereto, that the motion of Parliament dated September 25th, 2019, should not prevent any caretaker minister from signing the necessary legal agreements for the start of the airport terminal reconstruction project and the capital injection, that the note holder, the European Investment Bank, and the Kingdom Council of Ministers are requesting comfort from the loan agreement signed, are binding and will not be reversed or be considered invalid. That any further delay in signing these agreements can have detrimental consequences for Princess Juliana International Airport, the continuation of its operations, and the availability of the financing for the airport terminal reconstruction project, and that as such, the signing of the relevant legal agreement constitutes a matter of acute national interest. The motion resolves that the legal agreements on the airport terminal reconstruction project with the World Bank, the European Investment Bank, Princess Juliana International Airport, the note holders of the 2012 indenture, and other relevant parties thereto would be signed immediately by the responsible caretaker ministers in accordance with the terms of the national decree authorizing the signing of these agreements. And goes over to the order of the day, Mr. Chair. Copies of this motion to be sent to the Governor of St. Martin, the Government of St. Martin, the parliaments of the countries in the Kingdom, the governments of the countries in the Kingdom. This motion is supported by 4 members of Parliament.
Make use of WIB mobile banking with easy access and direct usage of face recognition, PIN code, or fingerprint. Download WIB mobile banking app and make your transaction from anywhere at any time. For more information, visit wib-bank.net/quick-login.
Issue at hand is urgent enough to not have this meeting further delayed, so I will give the answers to the best of my abilities. Thank you for that opportunity. I will start with MP Frans Richardson. Made some remarks about that I'm here coming to paint a picture of doom and gloom, fluff and lies, lack of being able to govern the country. I support no motion, loan arrangements, blah, blah, blah. Mr. Chairman, just to inform you, if I was not able to govern or help to govern this country, we made sure that the airport got a bridge loan of $20 million. So the airport can still function the way it functions right now. Also in the way that the MP was referring to, we don't need it because you can see that we are still there and things. But it's because of this government of St. Martin that we provided the necessary funds, emergency funds, to keep the airport alive and going, and even instill trust in the tourists and the travelers in St. Martin. And that shows the figures that are going up for the coming season. So it's quite unfortunate that the MP is reading it like that. So no lies, Mr. Chairman, where that is concerned. Then the MP was talking about restrictions to local counterparts. As far as I know, Mr. Chairman, we negotiated in New York, indeed, that a local counterpart should be at the interim, who is there for only 2 years, maybe a little bit longer, but definitely not longer than 3 years, that the local counterpart should be there. That was indeed open, and as far as I know, in the Council of Ministers, we have no problem whatsoever with the local counterparts. Just to clarify a point on the interim, the interim is there to support the airport management for the duration of the reconstruction. So if the reconstruction is finished within 1 year, those interim support is leaving also. Just to make clear, because you put information out there, and sometimes people tend to maybe do not remember anymore what was put out there. But just to refresh the memory of the people in general. So yes, we take into consideration and account our own local people. And there's nothing wrong with one of our pride assets of Country St. Martin to be on a much higher level, because some of the research, the financial research done so far, and the forensic will show how good we were in the past or not in running the operations. You see, further, the MP also said that do what needs to be done. You got permission through the budget. Mr. Chairman, indeed we got permission through the budget. But the point that I was making in my opening remarks is that the bondholder, who is key to get this thing going because of the concession agreement to release the much needed insurance proceeds, does not feel comfortable because of the motion of no confidence. And based on the legal advice, and then we make a jump to the Member of Parliament Bryson, who then is telling the minister that I don't read well, the legal opinion of the two legal scholars, one says you have no restriction to sign, whilst the other one says you have restrictions. And that is what created among us the confusion because of the motion of no confidence. That is the reality of the matter. There's no politics about it. That is what we are faced with. And then if you're being accused of politicking and coming here to play politics, that's the real reality. You know? So if one doesn't realize what's going on, I try to explain it in my opening remarks. That is how it is. That is the situation. I, and with me, the other mandated ministers, were ready to sign on the 7th of October. Okay? You cannot sign because of the bondholders are not feeling comfortable. The MP Emmanuel says, well, then we will finish it. You know, this is our heritage. To me, it doesn't matter who finishes it, but do it. But what I explain, the bondholder does not feel comfortable because of the motion. So that's why they say it's the same parliament that passed the motion. Let the same parliament say we have no problem for this government to ASAP sign the concession agreement and other related agreements.